Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Garden of Sports. I'm your host, Jake Gardner, alongside my brother, Zach.
Hello, hello.
And this is your week's basketball episode. We're going to go over the second half recap of Week 18 and break into Week 19 prep. And for some people, playoffs might be starting, so this could be an important time to make some big moves. And a lot of players break out after the All-Star break. It's just kind of a motivational thing if you didn't make the All-Star game, or you just get more playing time because the team's tanking. So a lot of things change, and hopefully we can find the best players to grab for you. So without further ado, you know the schedule. Let's go in. Surprises of the week. So this is basically off of the second half, going off of 2 games, really. So you don't have to read into it too much, but I just wanted to go over these guys because the top 5 here, we're all at the top. We're all within the top 10 of the average, so it wasn't like the usual names you see there. So DeJounte Murray, 61.6. So he was an all-star, but, you know, he's coming out super motivated and going off. He's day-to-day right now, but still, 61.6, that's not normal, so we have to take note. Kyle Kuzma, 60.9. And I officially got to say I'm wrong about him. When he started breaking out, Bradley Beal was out, so I thought, oh, it's just a temporary thing. And then when Bradley Beal was announced he's out for the season, I still didn't even fully believe, but he just keeps going off. I mean, they really have nobody else. So, obviously, it's here to stay for the rest of the season. Bam Adebayo, 59.3, so he's finally busting out. He's kind of been up and down this year. Sometimes he's still around 40, but everybody's expecting maybe him to take another step. So this is nice to see, home stretch. The Miami Heat are, I think, going to keep the number 1 seed. Jakob Poeltl, Zach, do you know how to pronounce that? Or is
I
it
thought it was Pedal.
Pedal, okay. 58.2 is the starting center for the San Antonio Spurs. Wasn't traded, so I guess they're just going to play him heavy minutes since he wasn't. And he's doing really good. The team's kind of just doing better as well. Since removing Derek White, maybe they just had too many guards, but yeah, he's looking good. RJ Barrett, 56.8, and we're going to talk about him more later here. He could be becoming the guy they thought he would be. They were talking about him at the draft. You know how at the draft they always try to compare players to current all-stars or what they could be.
Mm-hmm.
RJ Barrett was always talked about as a Paul George type. Hasn't really lived up to that, but lately he's been going off, so I don't know if he's finally starting to come to form.
Peters, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see here. Terrence Mann, 46. In the past week. Well, for him, it's been almost 2 weeks, but yeah, going into the All-Star break, he's kind of finding his form that he found at the end of last year, so maybe he's just a second-half guy, but he's starting to take over and be the man for the Clippers, so it's nice to see. That's your surprises. Zach, did you have any other surprises? Maybe you saw on your teams? Or
No, not really.
All right, storylines. So I did want to talk about RJ Barrett. Is he the guy finally that they've been talking about at the draft? It seems like Julius Randle they're going to move on from. Like, I think they're already over that train, and they want to keep getting younger. And RJ Barrett might be their go-to in the coming seasons. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I want to see a little more, but he definitely could be.
Yeah, we'll find out here, but I'm pretty pumped to see what happens. Definitely a guy I'm going to be looking at in next year's draft. DeMar DeRozan, after continuing his really efficient streak of above 50% shooting and above 35 points, he's in the top 5 MVP conversation. So, really starting to heat up, dude. What do you think? Finally getting the respect?
I mean, I feel like that's where he should be and where he'll stay. I mean, he's probably not going to win it, but I mean, he's at least getting some respect. So,
yeah, it's actually between the 3 past the closest MVPs from the past. Or no, Joel Embiid hasn't been, but Joel Embiid's the leader, and then Giannis and Jokic are the
I still think it should be Jokic.
MVPs.
Jokic or Giannis should win it over Embiid. I personally feel like.
Yeah, I don't know. Right now, Embiid actually just went off. I was just watching that game.
Jokic is better than those two. He should win it stat wise, but
I don't know. Defensively, it's the other two, but yeah. I don't know. Yeah, a lot of people crap on Jokic, but they're still the top 3. It's those 3 big men. So
yeah,
It's the return of the big men to the NBA, huh?
I guess.
We were thinking it was going to be small ball the rest of the league's history, but that's about to change. These hyper athletic big men are changing it.
Yeah.
I guess Jokic isn't hyper athletic, but he's just sees the court better than anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, James Harden and Joel Embiid. I wanted to talk about them. So I said they lost the trade, especially long term. But can they actually win it this year? Put it together? The first couple of games, seeing them together, they look scary. I just watched them today.
Yeah, I think they could. If James Harden is like healthy and like in shape and playing well, and then Embiid can stay healthy, I think the two of them can really be. I think they definitely have the talent to they could win it all for sure. I mean, that's a good combination, James Harden and Embiid. I really don't know how you stop it if they're both really at their top of their game.
Yeah, and you got Tobias Harris as backup. You know, good third piece.
You're not going to stop that.
Tyrese Maxey's in his breakout year, and he's still doing good. And then they were talking about the stat during the game. I was just watching that game actually right before this podcast, but Matisse Thybulle is one of the best defenders, like on the ball, one-on-one in the NBA, if not the best. So they're also throwing him in the starting lineup now at this point because they're just, they want their main defensive guy. So they have all kinds of things they can throw at you. A guy to shut down your best player. And, yeah, obviously Embiid shuts down your best big man and dominates him offensively. And then Harden is just, I don't know. They have to win it, though. That based on that trade, like, they have to win it to not be a laughingstock. But seeing them together, they could finally do it. Anyway, just wanted to talk about that. Are the Rockets going to let Jalen Green loose in the second half here? He had kind of a really bad first half, kind of a sour rookie year. What do you think? I mean, he's had a good game here right after the All-Star break. Are they just going to just throw him 40 minutes a night or what? So they are tanking.
Yeah, I mean, probably.
All right, it's a hot take here from Zach.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't watch any Rockets. I barely know who Jalen Green is, but
he was the second pick in the draft.
Oh, okay.
But you don't know who he is because he's been trash, I guess. But, yeah.
All right. Well, is he doing good now or something?
Well, it's just the last game.
Oh, okay.
He did pretty good, so I think it could be a sign of things to come. But
okay,
jury's out.
What the hell do they have to lose?
Yeah, I know. So I think they could let him loose. It's just if he still sucks, then maybe they keep giving him low minutes. I don't know.
Yeah. Huh.
So another team that made a bunch of moves were the Pacers, and because of that, it opened up a big man spot, or several, and Isaiah Jackson, their rookie power forward, and then O'Shea Brissett is just another guy they picked up, power forward type. They're both kind of power forward center, but they're both going off right now. Which one do you think would be the best rest of the season? I don't know if you've looked at their stats at all. They're pretty similar. They're pretty high.
Let's see. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I don't know. Probably O'Shea Brissett. I'm just gonna guess. I have no idea.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what I think. I think Isaiah Jackson's the guy to hold because he's getting all the blocks, but they're still giving Brissett like 40 minutes. So
okay.
It might be both. I mean, in one of our leagues, I have both just because it's a 12-team competitive league.
No, you said the Pacers. They just Brogdon's back now, so is that going to affect any of these guys' minutes?
No, because these are both the big men.
Okay,
that's where they're weak. Brogdon's a guard where they're strong.
Gotcha.
But I think it'll help. It'll help open up the floor even more for them.
Okay.
Good player back.
Yeah.
So the only thing that would affect him is if Miles Turner comes back, the center. But he had a stress reaction in his foot, and there was no timetable set really. And he could just sit rest of the season. They could just say, "Hey, we're tanking and we're getting rid of you in the offseason," because they really wanted to trade him anyway. So, and then Trey Mann in Oklahoma City, he had a good couple games before the All-Star break. People thought it was kind of fake. It's not going to last. And then coming out of the All-Star break, still doing really good. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander returns, and Josh Giddey goes down, and apparently Josh Giddey could miss a significant amount of time. Is Trey Mann going to keep this up? Like, is this?
And he could,
I
as
don't know.
long
He's
as
going
Giddy's
crazy.
out.
Yeah.
But I think
No.
Giddey takes away his minutes whenever Giddy's healthy because I think they like him better. But
oh yeah, no. There's no news though on how significant that injury was yet, but it doesn't sound positive.
yeah,
But at least for now, Trey Mann, like, deeply
for now,
great
definitely.
move. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna break in injury news, but try to keep it as short as possible. So John Collins' foot missed Saturday's game against Toronto. There's no timetable, like a target date that's set right now. I think he's just more so day to day. ESPN's outdated. Kyrie Irving is listed as out. Maybe that's just for next game he can't play for the COVID restrictions, but he just went off last night. It was announced Durant and Simmons could be returned sometime next week, like together. So I think they're trying to just start them both at the same time. Then we'll get to see what Brooklyn can really do. Let's see here. Nikola Vukovic day to day, probable for Monday's game, so he should be good. Let's see. What haven't we gone off since last week? Darius Garland's been sitting. He's missed a couple games now day to day, so Cleveland's had to grab some guys because Karis LeVert also is expected to miss about a week or two. Is how it's listed. And Rondo's out, so they signed some guy just to be able to play point guard.
Jeez.
Yeah, they're pretty banged up at the guard position.
Wow.
Who else is significant here? Marvin Bagley. He's just starting to get more minutes in Detroit, and he's had an ankle injury, and he won't play today on Sunday. And so I don't know if it's major, but still it kind of sucks that, he's maybe starting to find a groove. Klay Thompson illness is ruled out for today's game on Sunday. Probably not long term. Draymond Green had his first practice. Limited practice on Saturday, but still nice to see him back practicing since the first time since maybe late November. Houston Rockets, Kevin Porter Jr., questionable for Sunday's game, so he could be back soon. Chris Daughtry and the Pacers, questionable for Sunday's game, so he might be finally back. He's been out a couple games.
Yeah.
Miles Turner, here's an update for you on the Pacers big man. Still a couple weeks away from a return, so literally nothing set in place. They're not rushing him back. They're tanking. Paul George finally had that MRI on his elbow, and he remains without a timetable to return, but it sounds like there's still a chance. So maybe by the time, if you have a later playoff dates in your fantasy, you might be able to stash him. For guys like Zach and I, we start next week. Let's see here. LeBron James is questionable for Sunday, but every time they're listing LeBron James is day-to-day, questionable or probable, he always keeps playing. So there's really not much to read into there. I'm sure he's going to play. Let's see.
Yeah.
Brandon Clark day-to-day. Trying to see any major news here on teams. There's a bunch of bench players. We had talked about Zion last week. Derrick Rose, he was supposed to return after the All-Star break, and the update here is he had to have another ankle procedure. There was an infection where he had the first surgery. So
Jesus.
He could return in 1 to 2 weeks. He had to have another minor procedure. So if this news wasn't announced last week, and you probably know, but Kemba Walker was shut down for the rest of the season by the Knicks. So, Derrick Rose is a grab and stash if he's available. I don't really know how they're running point. They're just kind of switching it up between Alec Burks and Quickly. Thibodeau was kind of banking on Rose being back, though, for the second half. That's why he wanted to bench Kemba so quick. But yeah, Josh Giddey, update on him. He won't play Monday, and I quote, this is what the coach said, could miss some time beyond that. So it just doesn't sound positive to me. So we'll find out more. And it's obviously another team that's tanking, so they're not going to rush him back. They're young star.
Yeah.
He worked his way into third in Rookie of the Year voting. He just going off lately. Markelle Fultz, here's big news, might be back, or he's probable for Monday's game, so his return is here.
Okay.
It's not that fantasy relevant. I don't think he'll be relevant, but still something to look at. Put him on your watch list. Jonathan Isaac, another update on him. They released it the same day as Fultz. Remains limited to non-contact basketball drills. So this guy's not returning this year. Don't even worry about it.
No way.
Cameron Payne for the Phoenix Suns. With the news of Chris Paul being out for 2 months, Cameron Payne was supposed to start, or they thought he would come out of All-Star break as the starting point guard. He's not playing today, so he's missed the first 3 games after All-Star break. But for me, well, we'll talk about him more later, but he's kind of a grab and stash because he'll be the starting point guard for them. Portland Trailblazers are super hurt. Justice Winslow day-to-day. What's new? Nurkic, if we didn't talk about it last week, will miss 4 weeks.
What's new?
With left foot plantar fasciitis. Yeah.
Par for the course.
Yeah. And, nothing else major here. Keldon Johnson missed Saturday's game, but I don't think it's a major injury. It was like a sore back after he went off for a career-high 32 points, so he just played too much, played too hard. Fred VanVleet missed 1 game, but he's questionable for Monday, so it was just a minor injury, and Porzingis missed Saturday's game, so I don't know if Porzingis is going to play this year after he was traded to the Wizards, but we'll find out, and that's your injury news. Went as fast as I could, so we'll have to time block that so people can skip it if they don't really care. Or we cut it out. I mean, people who keep up with fantasy are pretty into it, so they probably know. But just in case you didn't know about one of those. Let's go into trade targets, though. So I didn't put as many on buy lows and sell highs this week just because I just put my main 5 of each. Because some leagues are just past the trade deadline if you had one. So if you still have one, this is for you. Anthony Edwards, this is a buy low. In the last 15, so I went by last 15 instead of last 7 just to embody a couple games before the All-Star break. But Anthony Edwards, 29.2 in the last 15, so he's kind of struggled around the All-Star break here, and I would try to buy low. Every time he has a bad streak like this, I try to buy low. So see if you can get him. Jalen Suggs, 28 in the last 15. I think he's going to take over as the point guard down the stretch. Yeah, Fultz is going to be back, but Suggs is their guy. He was one of the top rookies drafted. Robert Williams, 27.8 in the last 15. This is another guy I always try to get or would buy low on whenever he's on a cold streak. He's the starting big man for Boston. Boston's just a team on a heater right now. I think it's a great guy to have on your team. Franz Wagner, I'm going to keep putting him on buy low, man, until I'm dead. Or at least this year. 26.5 in the last 15. I think he could still get back to what he was doing earlier in the season where he was just going off and climbing the rookie ladder. But just for the past month, he's been pretty down. So you don't have to believe in that one, but it's one I think he could have a big finish here. Scotty Barnes, another rookie, so maybe it's just rookie slump time. 25.3 in the last 15. He's on a great, scrappy Toronto team, and I think it's just a slump. I think you should try and go get him. And then these two, Marcus Smart and Derek White, whoever owns them might be a little sour that both these players are taken away from each other. So what I mean is, like, one team might own Marcus, one team might own Derek White. They probably don't own both, so they're seeing their numbers are a little lower, and they might be willing to trade them. And I think they're still great guys that are two-way players to have on your bench. So especially if you have steals and blocks valued in your league, great guys to grab.
Oh yeah.
Any other buy low, Zach?
No, I think you covered it, brother.
Okay. Sell highs. So Jacob Pulte, like we said, going off for San Antonio, starting center. Yes, he could finish strong, but I don't trust
him either. Yeah. I think this is a great sell high if he's doing really good for like a week or two.
Yeah. Go get a more consistent center. Maybe somebody who's been down, like Clint Capella's had a bad month. Maybe you could get Clint Capella.
Mm-hmm.
Or shoot higher than that. I'm just, people aren't going to sell the biggest names for Jacob Pulte, but
right.
See what you can get. Buddy Hield, huge game for the Pacers. Like we said, they're stacked at guard on Indiana, and Malcolm Brogdon is back, so I'd try to trade him for anything I could get. So he had a huge game. You'd have to throw him in.
Brogdon's a good passer. I don't know. Brogdon Hield might be something, but
no,
I think you could
forgetting
definitely capitalize on the big game. But I just don't know.
They have Halliburton too.
I don't know how many people would fall for
You have to
Like
throw
what
him
you
in.
could honestly get for he'll, yeah, he'd have to be a throw in for sure. But
Yeah.
okay, well, that's what I was gonna say. It need to be a throw in. So I guess you and me are on the same page there.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a throw in. Nobody's gonna believe. I mean, if somebody was still holding Jalen Green, maybe you could try to get Jalen Green. Like it'd be low hanging
Okay,
fruit. Low hanging
yeah,
fruit maybe you could get for Buddy by himself, but you'd probably throw
yeah,
him in with a Pulte or something like that.
okay.
And then I wanted to ask you what you thought about Terrence Mann, Zach. Do you believe that he could keep this
I'll
up?
I like
Okay.
Terrence Mann, but just
Mm-hmm.
I say follow the evidence. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, for someone like me who drafted Terrence Mann this season and ended up dropping him like 3 weeks into the season,
Yeah.
like, and has waited till now for him to actually do something, and I wasn't able to get him back on my team.
Frustrating.
I would definitely be
Yeah.
selling high on him
Yeah,
from
he's up and
because
down.
he's a frustrating guy. He's just one of those dudes that some weeks will average 46, and then some weeks will average 16. So you just you never know what you're gonna get, and those guys are very frustrating. It's
Yeah.
literally either 46 or 16 with him. There's nothing in between there.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
would be
for
selling
sure.
high for sure if he had a nice good week. I'd honestly sell him for a nice bag of basketballs. But
Yeah, if he's not owned yet. Otherwise he's a grab. But I just wanted to put him on here. If he's not owned,
yeah,
if
if
he
he's a
is
good
owned.
if he's on the waiver wire, pick him up. I mean that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're in a deep league and you have him, I'd be trying to sell,
Agreed.
like maybe sell for Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, yeah. If you could combine him with somebody for Anthony Edwards, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
And then another guy I wanted to talk about. Uh, well, real quick, Terrence Mann. Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page. I think sell high if you're in a 10 team, 12 team. You might have to hold because you might have a weak bench like me. I
Mhm.
just, I he's better than anybody else I can grab. Or
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody would take something for him, yeah, 1-on-1, I would do it. But I can't do it. I can't afford a 2-for-1. So it really depends. But 10 team, yeah, combined for a trade. Tyrese Maxey is still putting up good numbers, even with Harden starting now. But for how long is what I put here? Just because,
I
like
think
we
he'll
said, it's a
keep it up.
stacked team.
I know, but I think he will keep it up just because Seth Curry's gone. I think Maxey's kind of taking up that role.
Hmm.
He's a good shooter, so I think that he's going to get more time because you want to put more shooters around Embiid. So I feel like
Hmm.
Maxey and Harden will both be getting a lot of minutes. Harden obviously is going to take away maybe a little bit, maybe cap Maxey's scoring numbers a little bit, but I still think Maxey's going to be good. And I I don't know. I just feel like he's
Hmm.
just feel like he's still going to be a good hold. I wouldn't trade Maxi for
Well,
I wouldn't
nothing. Yeah,
yeah, I would try and get something good still with him because he's still having a really good year. I think he's still going to be putting up decent numbers. So that's just my personal feeling.
for sure. Yeah, no, I'm trying to combine him. He'd be a guy I would combine to get a higher tier player, just because. Yeah, like you said, he's still good, but he's the fourth best player on the team now. And I mean, you know how that is to own. But like
Yeah,
they can have consistent runs and then they'll go
but he's a
down.
good
So
shooter though. That's why I think that he fits well, even though he's the fourth best technically, maybe. But I think he'll still put up some points. And
for
that might
sure,
be less. Maybe he'll put up more points because he'll not always have somebody's best defender on him. But I don't know.
for sure. Yeah, no. So Zach's kind of a hold, and I'm kind of sell high still.
Which is okay.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
can disagree.
No, that's good. That's good. Keldon Johnson. So I put him on here just because people drafted him, thinking he would break out the whole year, and he hasn't really. He's just been mediocre. But you had to hold him, and now he's kind of starting to heat up.
I
But
think you do.
maybe the Spurs are for real. I don't know. Can he?
I think you
Can
heat
he
him
sell
up. I,
high?
I think you
Okay.
hold him. I
Okay.
personally, I think you hold him because now with Derek White gone, maybe that opens it up for Johnson a little more. I'm not sure how the minutes are shaken out over there, but
Well, he's a power forward.
Yeah, but
Hmm.
I don't know what point guard they have over there now.
DeJounte Murray is the starter point guard. Derek White was
Okay.
like the starting shooting guard probably there, but I think they're
Okay.
playing Derek White more on the bench.
Well, I don't know. Maybe Johnson will. Maybe he's
The
finally
team's
heating
just
up,
doing better
and
too. Yeah, I
he'll
don't
be a
know.
second half player like he kind of was last year,
Yeah,
right?
I don't know what's up with these guys. Him and Terrence Mann are just there's a bunch of these guys that have just come to play in the second.
But it depends on what you're trying to trade for. I mean, I think I'd be fine holding Johnson.
For sure. Just see if he can get any value since he just
You
had
know
his
what they
game
you
ever.
know what they say. One Johnson in the hand is worth two in the bush.
Oof. I haven't heard that. I haven't heard them say that or anyone, but
Oh, you know them.
oh
They're
my
weird. They're funny.
god. Seth Curry, dude. I want to talk about him. So he's doing really good for Brooklyn right now, starting next to Kyrie, but they don't have Ben Simmons or KD back, and there's talk of both of those guys being back next week. Would you sell high, Zach?
Seth
Yeah.
Setharius Curry. Um.
Just see if he can get anything or
Yeah, I would offer him out there and see. I'd dangle him out there, see if anybody nibbles.
That's what I did, yeah.
Um. Yeah, but if not, he'll put up some numbers. Then they, especially with KD out, he's like probably their best shooter, right? So,
Right now, yeah.
I
Well,
think
him and Kyrie.
they're gonna keep feeding him the ball. But yeah, I mean Seth Curry is available for every game though, so I
Yeah,
think
that's true.
so I don't know. I'm it's one of those things where yeah, I dangle him out there, see what I can get, see what offers anybody will give for him. But if not, just keep him. He's not a terrible guy to have like on the bottom of toward the bottom of a deep roster. Probably not the
Oh
worst guy
yeah,
to
he's
have.
good at the bottom. But
Get you some consistent points, I think.
I'm not saying these players are bad and sell
Yeah,
high.
that's
I'm just
why
saying
that
they're
yeah,
overproducing now.
so I think I agree with you. I would dangle him out there, see what I can get, but you don't have to
Hmm.
accept whatever offer comes over. Just
Oh
be
yeah.
smart about it.
Hmm.
Because Seth Curry's still a good player, so he should be able to fetch you something decent in return. Something that you might need more of if you have a bunch of shooters or shooting guards or something, and
Hmm.
you want another power forward or center or something. You could use him for something like that. Because chances are Seth Curry is not your best shooting guard on your team. Maybe
You
you
hope not.
could.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have championship aspirations, he's probably not the best shooting guard on your team. So if you could upgrade in a position you need more players on, why not use him for something like that? For sure. I think Jake and I are in agreement on that.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, and those are my sell highs. Do you have anybody else you think
I've
of?
been looking. I think these are good ones. This is hard at this time of year. When you're this far into
Yeah,
the season,
coming right out of the
it's
All-Star break.
already hard to trade most of the time, and now people are even more stingy with their teams.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Everybody gets that afraid of like, oh, I've made it this far and done so good. I don't want to get rid of somebody that's helped me get this. Like, you get this thing in your brain where you're like,
Hmm.
if I lose anybody off this team, it's going to screw me over so bad because this team, these guys have gotten you this far with your good record. You get that like mental
Those aren't good
thing.
fantasy players.
I get
Yeah.
that a lot though, and I'm a good fantasy player, so
You
I
still trade though.
I do,
People
but
who don't trade at all.
it takes a lot for me to trade, and it's got to be with somebody that I trust. That's why most of the time I only trade with Jake
Yeah.
because
No,
I
I'm
do
always trying
trust that
to.
he's dealing fair, you know. So
Hmm.
I always get this thing where like everybody sends me an offer is trying to screw me over. That's just my mental thing. It's hard sometimes to overcome that when that's how you
like
feel, but
even if they are though, they could be in their mind they think they're gonna win the trade, but they're not. Like people,
yeah.
this guy
And
tried to screw over this guy. So in this league I'm in, he traded Kyle Kuzma on his hot streak for Chris Middleton.
mhm.
Thinking he outdid the guy by selling Kyle Kuzma on a hot streak. But then with the Bradley Beal injury, the guy who got Kyle Kuzma kind of won. Because he's just way overproducing while Middleton just keeps doing his thing.
Yeah.
So he's better than Middleton right now. And so I think the guy thought he was smarter than the other team, and then he traded away Kuzma to get him off his roster, and then he ended up losing the trade. So I feel like it could go a lot of ways. You just got to know the value of the players, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but let's go into scoops. So
Scoops.
must grab list. Here you go. Isaiah Jackson, 38.2 in the last 15, 6.8% owned in ESPN leagues. He's higher in Yahoo, I know, but still not high enough. And they're just going to keep throwing him 35 to 40 minutes a night because he's a rookie they want to develop, and they're tanking in Indiana. So same with O'Shea Brissett. Not a rookie, but he's only 23 years old, 33.1 in the last 15, 13.4% owned. I mean, it's just that might be their big men combo the rest of the way. They're just throwing them minutes, seeing who can do well that they won't get rid of this offseason. So both the Indiana big men, then Terrence Mann, as long as he stays hot, 35.1 in the last 15, 21.2% owned. He looks like that player from last year, like we said again, for the last year's second half. And Paul George isn't coming back anytime soon, so grab him while it's hot, see if it sticks. Maybe it can help you win a championship. Jayshawn Tate, he was actually dropped in like this competitive Yahoo league I'm in, and I grabbed him right away. He's the starting small forward on Houston, young guy they want to develop, 28.8 in the last 15, 32.7% owned in ESPN leagues. I think he's 60% owned in Yahoo. He's a must grab the rest of the way. He could stick around this 30 area the whole time. And then Devin Vassell, starting to heat up, 28.8 in the last 15, 15.9% owned. He's taking the place of Derek White. So he was on here last week. We talked about him, but I want to keep him going forward on here until he's higher because the dude's going to be a stud the rest of the way.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
And then other grabs to talk about. Cameron Payne. He's a grab
so
right now.
I can finally say I was right on Devin Vassell. It just took me 6 months. Hell yeah.
Well, you're right. You weren't right back then.
He's finally made Scoop 'em Up list.
Oh my god. Yeah, because Derek White left. But yeah.
I was right all along.
Oh my god. Cameron Payne, dude.
Yeah,
Cameron Payne is a stash. He's a stash. No, he's just a grab because Phoenix lost Chris Paul, and they need players to take over that usage, and he's a great shooter, so see if he'll do anything for the Phoenix Suns, see if his numbers increase a little bit while the next 2 months. Monty Morris for Denver. He always does this, teases us with some potential at point guard for Denver. In the last 15, 30.2, 25.3% owned. I like him on a hot streak. Just see if it might not last, so just be quick on the trigger. But if you need a guard, it's a great one to grab because they're weak at guard. He just has to stay hot. Oh man, I'm mixing up names. So when I was talking about Cameron Payne, I meant Cameron Johnson, who's healthy and playing.
Jeez, you drunk.
He takes up the Phoenix usage. Cameron Payne is supposed to be the starting point guard with Chris Paul out, but he still isn't back. But he's a stash in your IR if you have room for when he does come back, because he could put up pretty good numbers. Cameron Johnson is what I meant to be talking about earlier.
Yeah.
He's a great shooter, taking up extra usage with Chris Paul out. See if it pans out to where he could be consistent more. And then Ayo Dosunmu, we'll keep him on this list forever.
Oh, yeah.
Still low owned at 25%, 27.3 average. I think I'm going to have also, just side note, I think I'm going to have to go off a Yahoo percent owned because it's accurate. Like, Dosunmu's actually respected there.
Yeah, but we still want to pump those ESPN numbers up, right? We want to be responsible for that.
Oh my god. Yeah, I might switch just because Yahoo's more accurate and that might be better for viewers.
Yahoo.
But yeah, he's just doing his thing. Chuma Okeke, 35.9 in the last 15, 8.4% owned. So he's on Orlando. They're trying to develop guys. He's been cutting into Mo Bamba's minutes because Mo Bamba has been trash. So he's a guy to potentially just see if it pans out. He just had a big game out of the All-Star break. It's only 1 game sample size, but see if he can get something going here in the second half. Luke Kennard, 23.1 in the last 15. So I just put this on the end of the list as a deeper league pickup. if you need a guard, just go ahead and grab him,
I agree.
And let's see here. Drops.
Luke Kennard's been a pretty good streamer for me when I've been in a position where I needed a streamer.
Oh, yeah, he's been great.
Yeah. And I just kind of like to keep him in that role.
He's a great shooter. He almost won the 3-point contest.
Uh-huh.
Like, he did really well both rounds. Like, it was really good.
Yeah.
But anyway. Drops, Zach. Davion Mitchell.
Yeah.
People are dropping him. We thought it was kind of thought that he would take over the Halliburton role and be the true number 2 shooting guard. And he's kind of been bad lately, and I don't know what they're doing with him, but until he's figured it out, you could drop him and put him on your watch list. Until the whole team figures it out in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Cam Thomas, people were grabbing him, Brooklyn shooting guard, but with the other players kind of taking over, and then KD and Ben Simmons about to be back, he's going to lose all value, so he's a drop.
Yeah, I dropped him last week, at the end of last week.
Gotcha.
I picked up Isaiah Roby, who kind of hasn't really done much since he had his big double-double a few nights ago, but he still had a double-double the other night, but not a big one. But he's getting some minutes, so I'm still going to hold on to Roby. Hopefully he can be a second F player like he was last year.
For sure.
But we'll see. I'll have a quick hook on him.
Yeah, quick hooks with these bad teams. Richaun Holmes. So, since the trade of Domantas Sabonis to Sacramento, Holmes has been trash.
Yeah.
They're barely giving him minutes. It's just...
Because Sabonis takes all the minutes.
It sucks, dude. Because you thought... The hope was that Sabonis would just be power forward. Richaun Holmes could still do okay at center. But he hasn't been able to do anything. So, he's a drop at this point. He's giving you no value. Really no points at all.
That's rough.
Darius Bazley in Oklahoma City. I put this at the end of the list. I did notice people were dropping him. And I was kind of looking into why, and I think he was on a hot streak, and now it's kind of...
And then he did fucking nothing. I picked him up as a streaming option last week, and he sharded the bed, for sure.
He had a double-double 2 nights ago, so it's not like he's horrible. But there's higher upside guys you could grab. You don't have to be attached to people,
Mm-hmm.
Have a quick hook, like Zach said.
Yeah.
And then that's my drop. Zach, you have any concerns here?
I have a couple here that I've been working on.
Okay.
Okay, not so much on my first place team. Let's check my other team. Yeah, I got a couple of questions on some of these guys. So Jared Vanderbilt, people are dropping him a little bit. He hasn't really done much in like a couple weeks.
Okay.
The best he's been doing is like 27 over the last like 2 weeks. Just want to know what you think about him and Mo Bamba. Those are kind of two guys
we
that
talked about them last week too.
Struggling a bit.
We'll keep talking about them. Yeah.
What do you think? You think you still hold both of them, or
you hold both of them? Hold on, I'm looking at Vanderbilt. Let's talk about Vanderbilt first. I'm looking at him.
Okay.
I think you could still...
Because he only got 17 minutes.
Yeah, if he has another game that low of minutes, you're dropping him for sure.
Yeah.
If he can stick around 25 to 30 minutes, he's worth a hold in deep leagues. 10 team, I think we said last week he's a drop in 10 team.
Mm-hmm.
There's too many upside guys to grab. Even in a 12 team, with these second half guys, like if you want to take more of a risky play than Jared Vanderbilt, you go for any of those must grabs, then I would. Like if any of these guys on our grab list are available, I would do it. I think I would switch out. I think I would grab Isaiah Jackson, O'Shea Brissett, Terrence Mann over him. Let's see who else here. Obviously, Ayo DeSumo. Guys that might be available in a 12-team league are guys like Chuma Okeke, and I forgot to talk about Trey Mann on Oklahoma City, so that's my bad.
Yeah.
So there's Terrence Mann on Clippers. Trey Mann is a grab because Josh Giddey went down. So guys that might be available in a deep league is Okeke and Trey Mann. So if you're more confident in those two, go ahead and drop Jared Vanderbilt. If he's your worst player, like I'd have to know your worst player as well, but he might be.
Hmm.
So Yeah, long story short, 10-team drop already. If he has another low minutes game, he's a drop in deeper leagues as well.
Okay.
Mobamba, I'm gonna look up his numbers right now. God, yeah, just horrendous. Remember I offered you
Shut up.
Remember I offered you
I
Siakam
don't
for
remember.
Jaren Jackson Jr. and Mo Bamba, and you said no?
I don't remember that. Well, that was when Mo
You
Bamba was a top 10 center.
I know, but you would have been selling high.
Yeah.
So you would have beat me in that
I
trade.
should have fucking taken that though. I mean, my God, I didn't think Siakam would be this good.
I know, me either. Wow.
Fuck.
Okay. Dude, this is rough. I can't honestly say hold
Yeah, it sucks.
anymore.
There's nobody to pick up though, dude. Like I'm looking in that league. There's nothing.
Yeah, I would drop him even in a 12, like 10 or 12 team. But like you said, yeah, he's still got a high average in points leagues, like high enough to hold.
Yeah.
You're holding on to that, but it's so risky if you're going into playoffs.
I mean, there's just nobody that I would want to drop those two for though available right now in that league. So it's just kind of tough.
Well, I just grabbed Trey Mann. Maybe
Yeah,
Okiki is available.
he's not.
Damn. Luke Kennard's available.
Yeah, I
So
don't
that
think I'd
one's up to
drop
you.
those two for Kennard.
Yeah, you got to hold in our league. I think you would hold him,
Yeah,
but
because I mean, I got Jokic and Gobert kind of carrying me. So at the
yeah,
moment.
as it gets closer to playoffs, you got to look at his last 7, last 15, and if it's
Well, yeah,
horrendous,
this sucks
so
because I'm trying to make it into playoffs. I'm the 7th seed.
yeah. Well, today's all that matters. It's between. You need me to lose.
Oh, and you're winning, huh? I'm guessing.
No, we're like tied basically, so it's coming down to the games tonight, dude.
Oh my God.
Yeah, let's talk
Let's.
about this real
Well,
quick. So,
I got Jokic and Gobert going today, so that's in my favor.
holy shit, you're probably winning then, beating the 1 seed.
He probably thought that he had it in the bag against me, but can't do that.
Mo Bamba is a 10-team drop, 12-team. If you're a high enough seed, you hold. If you're fighting for playoffs, you could drop him. That's my advice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's look at scoreboard. I am up 1358 to 1333. It's literally down to the games tonight. Aaron Holiday's playing right now for me. He's trash, so he's a wash. I have, besides Aaron Holiday, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players left. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players left. So it's 5v5. I'm up by like 20.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, dude. It's
This is-
literally the most intense. It's. I think he would still be in the playoffs if he lost. I would be out. You would take my spot at 6 because I'm 6. You're 7th.
Mm-hmm.
This is insane, dude. Yeah, if he has a big game, I don't know. If Ingram goes off, I think I lose. And the New Orleans is playing the Lakers tonight. Westbrook could go off too. He has Westbrook, but he's been bad lately. I don't know. So anyway, yeah, our main most competitive league, guys, is even I am fighting for a playoff spot. My other 2 leagues, I'm like in the playoffs. This sucks.
Yeah, the other league that I'm in, your office league, where I'm in first place and probably going to win as long as I stay healthy because that team is too stacked.
You're way too stacked. I'm injured now. I just lost in that league where you're the number 1 seed. I have Anthony Davis now on the IR.
Oh, jeez.
Damian Lillard's on the IR, and Paul George is on the IR. So like my top 3 picks.
Yeah, that's
are all in the IR in that league, and I'm still 3rd seed, but I'm not.
Sounds like me the last 5 years in the other basketball league.
All your top picks would be injured
every single year, dude. Ever since I won, it's like I sold my soul for that win 6 years ago.
Damn. You just made the key late moves, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
Because you made I remember you made a couple moves that I thought were bad, and they weren't.
I picked up. I can't remember.
Was it Randall?
No, I drafted Randall. That was his breakout year. He was averaging almost a triple double. That was Jokic's breakout year too. Drafted him.
Okay.
And then I picked up at the end of the year Who was the old guy? Used to be on Portland. He was having like a heart problem, and then so Jason dropped him.
Aldridge. Yeah,
Aldridge. And then I picked him up right when they announced that he's actually going to come back and play, and I picked him up, and Jason was so mad at me.
Yeah.
And then I also
that's his fault.
And then I also picked up right before playoffs Pau Gasol, who was averaging a double-double through the playoffs.
Who dropped him? What?
Yeah, somebody dropped him.
It was bad? Okay.
Yeah, and then I picked him up and he started getting double-doubles. And then awesome. I can't remember this point guard's name, but this point guard has been a pretty average fantasy player. But when I had him that year, was like just in the playoff run, was like averaging a triple. He got like a triple-double every playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the guy's name, but he was on Orlando at that time.
Damn.
And was getting a triple-double like every game, and I was just whooping everybody's ass with that team.
Yeah, screw you.
Haven't got close since.
Screw you.
Oh, that was DeMarcus Cousins' best year too.
Oh, dang.
His last great year.
Damn. Yeah. All right. So to close it out, let's go over schedule grid. Now that I'm depressed about that year, there's only one team with a 2-game schedule, and that's the Trailblazers. So don't stream anybody there. I was gonna give Tuesday, Thursday like streaming advice, but the whole week is pretty stacked. Like there's a lot of games this week.
Yeah, they're pretty even.
So you got to look basically on these types of weeks. You got to look for back-to-backs.
Yeah,
like a late week one is Friday, Saturday is only the Timberwolves, Orlando Magic, and 76ers. You could get one stream out of that.
Mm-hmm. There is Memphis Grizzlies Saturday, Sunday.
Okay, that's not bad. Nice.
And they're playing Orlando and Houston. So I don't know. I mean, those are
that's easy. Wow.
You could pick up like Trey Lyles or something.
If Brandon Clark is available in a 10-team.
Yeah.
Grab him. All right, guys. Well, that's it. Thanks for listening. Zach, thanks for your great input here. And
of course, only the best.
We'll see you next week
for our listeners.
Yeah.
Just remember, real quick, to go follow us on all our social media.
Oh, you're breaking up. Zach, are you there? Well, Zach was saying to follow us on our social media. Garden of Sports, every platform. Go check us out.